shield the tribe and shield Noag. Those were Chieftain Narjak's last words to his cub Akrog after a ballista bolt from the Tusk Hunters pierced right through his chest. Fabled warrior, leader of the Moonkin Trolls, last of the mythical firstborn, killed by elven poachers. It was not only Narjak's heart the bolt impaled that day, but also that of the Moonkin tribe, weakened by the terrible blood-rot plague and decimated by the hunters. They had long been struggling for survival. With their mighty chieftain gone, the last ray of hope still shining was Noag, Akrog's younger sibling who had inherited Narjak's legendary power. The chieftain's wish for Akrog to succeed him surprised many kin, but it surprised Akrog most of all. True, he was a strong and honorable warrior, but far from the Moonkin's best. All he had was the peculiar gift to hear the voices of the dead, and an iron will to do right by his sire's last words. Was he ready for this? He could not say. Yet when the tribe demands, a troll must bow. And so Akrog found himself giving his first command as a chieftain to be. The Moonkin would travel to Mugwa's cradle, a shrine guarded by the Bonekin Trolls, to perform the devouring, the sacred ritual where the new chieftain consumed the old chieftain's heart to take up his role. This story begins the day the Bruised tribe arrived at the cradle, where Akrog, joined by his mentor Grungwar and his trusted one Zaska, ventured out to find a holy plant for the ritual, Mugwar's Tear. Little did Akrog know that the true trial of the Moonkin Trolls had just begun. No matter what the trolls may think of Chieftain Akrog, trust not the foul tusks who say he had everything given to him on a moon silver platter. All because his sire was chieftain before him. Oh no, little cubs. The hunger, the blood rot, the hunters. The Moonkin had become but a shadow, and in the span of a day, it became Akrog's calling to lead them back to Mugwa's light. The day he and his two companions went out to prepare Narjak's last rites would be but the beginning of his troubles.
Are these the ones?
Magwa's tears, the sacred plants, blessed by the goddess herself.
Pity she always cries in hard-to-reach places. It was a rotten pain to get here.
One blew Akrog to embalm the chieftain's corpse for the devouring. Harm not the others.
Akrog remembers hearing that the Brittlebones use these blooms too, no? The sharp-eared ones.
The elves, it is true. They call them Lenya, and greedily tear them from the soil to use for their hexes. A typical lightling ways if Grungwar is asked. They think themselves so much holier than the dark races. But in the end, all they do is take, and take.
Akrog has a question. If the blooms are so powerful, perhaps they could help with the blood rot. Surely Mugwa would understand.
Akrog's sire said the same thing.
He said that? When?
Oh, hundreds of moons ago. Back when the blood rot first showed. Akrog was still a little cub, and Little Moonblood was not yet born. The eyes picked 3 blooms, and Shepherd Crumb brewed a potion from them. But it helped not. In truth, it only made the trolls that drank it worse.
Worse?
The hex power of the blooms is too strong, even for a troll's flesh.
Akrog wants not to disrespect Mugwa, but why can they not pluck more? This is a brittlebone ruin. If the Moonkin pluck them not, someone else will.
Akrog speaks true, but still, the laws demand it. These blooms are gifts from Mugwa to the sacred earth, and the only time a troll can rip them from the soil is for the rites.
Akrog understands. All right.
And it is done. The bloom has been plucked.
Back to the cradle then? Before the big little oaf Noag goes mad with worry, thinking they tumbled off a cliff.
Akrog still thinks they should have taken Noag with them. It would have helped his dark thoughts.
Noag's gloom is the reason it would have been unwise to take him. Give him time to mourn. As the moon blood, and soon the same blood of the chieftain, he knows there will be little of that in the moons to come.
Grungwar speaks true. Let them march back. They have lost too much time already.
Wait, before they leave, Grungwar has an unusual wish. He would like to pluck a bloom for himself.
What for? The devouring?
No, it is... The Moonkin have been running for so long, chieftain. Grungwar dreams that one day they will find a true home somewhere. A tribe camp to last, so to speak.
Fine. Grungwar can pick it.
Grungwar thanks the chieftain. He...
There, old fur. His precious little bloom.
Zoska should not have done that. The blooms are sacred.
Well, Zaska just did, and he still stands here, looking as good as ever. Now, how about they leave this place?
Fine. Back to the cradle, then.
Can a troll not rest for a moment?
What is needed of him?
That man's plan from the start.
What?
Is trusted one all right?
He is. Closed. Maybe that big stick will help. Akrog is listening. And it is open. Strange.
Maybe Zaramak could learn a thing or two from these ruins.
Brittle bone craftsmanship never brings anything good. Grungwar will go there.
It is like the other one, but... This works not.
What on Urgat is this?
What is this?
That should work.
quickly. Let Zarska get a proper look.
On his way.
This way?
Careful!
For the Moon King!
Join the world! They
Only
messed with the wrong
fools
tribe.
challenge the Moonkin.
The tribe must
Why
survive!
must they play?
They will not get away from
They will
Zarska.
regret this.
May Magua guide his hands.
What is this? Dead. Maybe take them back for food.
Bugs are bad for the guts. Zarska had to learn that the hard way.
Grunwa is ready.
Let Zarska get a proper look.
The Moonkin cannot go through here.
True. But there is a hex stone. If they can kindle the...
There they are. Trusted one, Nurbak One-Eye. What is he doing here?
Looking for them. The fat Bonekin chieftain was getting worried. The tears were harder to find than they thought.
Cub Akrog, Nurbak will tell him one more time. The Moonkin should break off the devouring and move on. If they stay in this clearing for too long, the hunters will come for them.
Nurbak, they talked about this. The chieftain must be devoured, so Magua can pass on his power to the chosen chieftain. Narjak would want...
What Narjak would want is for the tribe to survive. But Nurbak has said his piece. It is clear the tribe would rather listen to a fresh-tusked cubling who hears voices in the wind.
The eyes have not seen hunters for 6 sundowns now. Nurbak really believes they are in danger?
The tribe is always in danger, and they will never be safe. Not as long as the tusk hunters are out there. Not as long as the blood rot takes warrior after warrior and kills their cubs before they are born. Not as long as there is never enough to eat.
A true ray of sunshine.
No one asked for Small Tusk's opinion.
Nurbak will not disrespect Akrog.
Nurbak only says what everyone thinks, but is afraid to say. If Akrog cannot take it, then maybe he should become a berry plucker instead. Make no mistake, Nurbak treasured Narjak like he treasures Grungwar. But Narjak was a great chieftain because he put others first. Surely Akrog knows that, after what his sire did for Nurbak and Akrog both.
Akrog knows, Nurbak. But what honor have the trolls left if they let these rotten brittle bones crush even their most sacred traditions? Now, can Nurbak kindle the hex stone?
He can. Oh, and Zaska Small Tusk?
What?
Nurbak knows the Small Tusk has been scheming. He will keep an eye on him.
Then how will he see where he is going?
What was Nurbak talking about? About Zazka scheming.
Scheming makes it sound very bad. He will tell Trusted One Akrog after the devouring.
Kin should not have secrets from each other, Zazka.
And Grungwar would know all about that, no?
Akrog is ready. He is going.
Ready for action. Zazka is listening.
Looks interesting. What on Urgat is this?
What is Akrog waiting for? They need to bring the tears to the Bonekin.
Akrog will leave now. Will Narjak join the devouring?
He will. But there is something else he has to look into first.
Sharp tusks and thick hide, then.
What is Akrog waiting for? They need to bring the tears to the Bonekin.
Akrog will leave now.
He will. But
Sharp tusks and thick hide, then.
Let Zazka get a proper look.
the blood for the tribe!
This is as good a place as any. Even the worms would not eat such a beast.
He will protect the tribe.
Destroy them! They will die next.
That way.
Afraid of an old troll? They should be.
Can Zazka help?
Something about this jungle always makes Akrog's hide crawl.
The blood drop in the cradle. It is full of Magwa's power, making life and plants flourish all around it.
Pity all that power does beak shit to keep the hunters and slavers away.
Is something wrong, Zazka?
No, of course not.
At his service.
What is this?
By the holy hide, if it is not chosen Chieftain Akrog Bone Crusher. Cabrax was about to ask the bones if something happened to them.
Chieftain Cabrax, Magwa prays. It is true. Finding the tears was harder than they thought. The Brittlebone ruin was swarming with bugs.
Good for the tears, bad for the many Brittlebone treasure hunters who searched them. Ha! Come, show him. Ah, good. Very good. Mugwa will be pleased. Now all they need is a tooth.
A sacred pierce stick. The Bonekin have none of their own.
Oh, of course they do.
But the Moonkin will need to shape their own for their sacrifice.
Speaking of the sacrifice, has the Moonkin's bloodgiver arrived yet? Anuk? When Akrog left to find the tears, the Moonkin Eye Master said he could not be found.
Oh, he has arrived, it is true, a few hours ago. He wanted to be alone with his prayers, though, so Cabrax let him and his trusted one into the shrine. Cabrax understands, of course. Being a bloodgiver is a great honor, but it may not feel that way right now.
Akrog understands. He will talk to him once Cabrax allows them into the shrine.
Akrog should. Itzkar, the Bonekin bloodgiver, would like to speak with him too, but they will cross that swamp when they come to it.
How can they shape a tooth? Grimoire said it. It is a sacred weapon.
Just like how the Moonkin shape their other weapons. All Akrog must do is find a hexed brittlebone weapon, scrap it, then have the Moonkin Master Scrapper use the parts to shape the tooth.
Where can they find a hexed brittlebone weapon, though?
Oh, there are many places in this jungle. But Cabrax believes he heard the Moonkin's Master Scrapper, Zaramok, speak of a brittlebone hideout up north.
His name is Zeramak. But good, Akrog will speak to him. Oh, and Chieftain Cabrax. Akrog is not chieftain yet, but he still thanks Cabrax in the name of the tribe. He knows many Bonekin wanted not the Moonkin so close to their shrine, with the hunters and the bloodrot. Cabrax took a risk helping them, and Akrog will not forget it.
Look at that! The cub has his sire's silver tongue.
No, Akrog means it. Only the Bonekin can do the devouring. If not for Cabrax, Narjak would never find his way into the moonlit river, and Akrog could never be blessed with Narjak's strength.
True, true. But Narjak was not only a great chieftain, but also the last firstborn troll. To give him his last rites is a great honor. And as for the fool tusks afraid of catching the bloodrot, what they need most is a fat fist to the face. They should know the rot cannot be passed from one troll to another, and be glad the Bonekin were mostly spared. Now off with Akrog. That tooth will not shape itself.
So be it. Sharp tusks and thick hide, Chieftain Cabrax. All right, to the tribe camp.
They should look for Noag too. Let them hope he has done nothing silly.
They will.
Zazka is listening. What is that?
What is it that Warrior Narg needs?
Well, he feel foolish to ask.
Just speak.
Well, Tamer Julog, he say anything about Narg?
Like what?
Well, there is no good way to say it. Talag, Julog's trusted one. Narg there when hunters kill him.
Talag. Akrog remembers. That was many moons ago, was it not?
It is true, but Narg still remembers all too clearly. Talag fight like a true warrior, and Narg by his side. But then the hunters get too many, and Narg gets scared and run. He even hear Talag scream as the hunter untusk him and... Well, no matter. Narg want to ask Akrog if Julog would forgive him if he apologized for leaving Talag. Akrog has the gift of spirits, so he can know thoughts of the tribe, no? I'm sorry. Akrog cannot read thoughts.
No? But he is blessed by Mugwa, and...
All the gift of spirits does is make him sleep badly and hear voices in the wind. But sometimes he wishes he could read thoughts. It would make things easier. Especially now that he is about to be chieftain. Narg should just tell Julog he is sorry after the devouring. Let Julog decide whether to forgive him or not.
Nogsi. Akrog is right. He must ask and hope for the best. Sometimes that is all a troll can do.
Narg speaks true. Now sharp tusks and thick hide. Akrog must prepare the devouring.
Sharp tusks and thick hide.